Hey guys, we're sitting out here. It's about to be June. When to go over our checklist here, what we're going to be doing here. We have been monitoring our trail cameras. I want to introduce you guys what we are using cellular trail camera wise, and these are the Cuddeback Digital cameras. This is the J model. They do run on D batteries. You can also get these booster packs that have 6 internal D batteries that you're just plug in right through there. And what that system does is it allows for 24 cameras to be on one system. And the package I roll with on the majority of the pieces of property is $15 a month for up to 24 cameras. So basically what it does is it links together. As those pictures get taken, it transmits directly to the home camera, and then that's which one, that's the camera that actually sends those pictures out to your phone or your email address, whichever one you selected, or both. But we do have one of our feeders here. I want to also touch base on that, what we have been running, and we definitely run through the month of the off season all the way into the summer months, is our Just Add Corn. This is an analogic product, a supplement based mix there. What this is you're mixing 1 bag of this to 2 bags of corn, and it works out very well for your deer nutrition as well as some antler growth. Just a phenomenal product. We've been using these things for I think going on 10 years, I believe. That's one of the analogic protein blocks here, and it's starting to be a pretty good time in the month of June to start running your products there. You know, maybe you're not in the nutrition, or maybe you are, but the antler growth is starting to really develop. You should be able to start recognizing those deer that you're going to potentially target throughout your next or upcoming season. And you know, run with your cellular cameras, your Cuddeback cameras, along with your food source, that should be able to really isolate those deer, get you some really good photos, and not have to go in. You know, that's one of the biggest deals with those cellular products, is you're not having to get in there, push your deer out, especially right now. You know, you got a lot of your fawns getting born right now, and you know, I definitely don't want to get in here any more than what I have to. But when I am getting into the woods, one of my main products I've been using for the last 5-6 years now is Sawyer. This is the insect repellent. Very, very good product. What ends up happening is you don't want to put this particular one on your skin, but you put it on your clothes, your boots, and this thing is good for multiple washings and will keep those ticks, mosquitoes off of you. You know, that Lyme disease is nothing to be messing around with, so definitely pick you up some of that Sawyer insect repellent if you guys haven't. Another really good deal with this is there's no smell to it. So when I'm sitting up there hunting in tree stands in Oklahoma or Arkansas during early season, or jumping on one of the blinds there, and I'm having to go in through some of the taller grass, this is definitely a product that I'm rolling with to keep those insects off of me as I make my way into my stand or my blind location. For the month of June also is a pretty good time to start getting your mock scrapes established, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the vertical mock scrapes, but I wanted to introduce you guys to what we do. You typically just find the vine. You know, throughout the Midwest, these are pretty easy to find. You can get them in different variations. I've seen videos in regards to they need to be 4 or 5 foot long, all the way up to something like this. You know, that's probably about 2 foot, and generally it's 2 to 2.5 is what I do. I just use some parachute cord or some line there. I'm just tying it up at the top, and then I hang it from a tree. And where you're wanting that to be is you're wanting it to be about waist high. So what that does is it helps establish all your deer coming in and out of there, and basically it's just an attractant for those deer. So you know, definitely keep in mind where you're putting these things at. You know, try to put them where you're going to be able to hunt deer, because once those things get established, those deer are going to constantly hit them. And it's not just your bucks, you know, it's going to be your does, your fawns, and then you get into your big mature deer, you know, the ones that you're definitely wanting to harvest. And it really helps out on a continuous path and get you a really good, ethical, clean shot with those. But definitely keep in mind, try to keep that waist high. That way all your deer can get going, because it should be repetitive, generational deer. Once that doe has taken that fawn to there, because she's continuously hitting that, monitoring the deer in the area, well, it just progresses, so that fawn's going to learn, hey, this is an area that we go scent check, see what deer are around, and it goes forward from there. So a couple other items I do want to definitely touch on is just getting into the 3D archery time period. So it's those tournaments, or just getting out there and shooting with your family and friends. It's just an awesome time to get out there. You're practicing on your archery gear. And Cherokee Bowhunter Association out of Neosho, Missouri puts on a pretty good one. I believe their next one, I think, is on June 3rd or 5th, well, one of those two. It's on a Saturday. Generally starts about 9 o'clock, and there's pretty good turnout on those. So whether or not you're wanting to just get out there with your family and friends, or take it a little more serious and get into those 3D archery, Neosho, Missouri, for anybody around that 4-state region that's watching this, it should be a pretty good time. Get out there, and you can communicate with guys that have been shooting for 1 year all the way up to 30, 40 years of archery experience, and you're talking recurve bows to long bows to your compounds. So it's just a good, in the age structure, just they've got women, they got men, they got children. It's just an all-around great time. A couple other items we have been rolling with. I did get a new Swisher pull behind, and that is quite the machine. And that I've used it on several of my food plots already, cutting that clover down, trying to get it in and out of there, fairly quickly, and it's worked out very well. In the food plots, we've had a pretty good amount of rain, not an overwhelming amount of rain, but it's just been a constant rainfall. And those spring food plots, they ought to be phenomenal. I mean, our clover growth is just looking awesome right now. And then we've also got our WorkHorse sprayer. We've got a couple of fall food plots that I try to only come in there every once in a while. So typically what I'll do is I'll load that WorkHorse sprayer up on the back, and then I'll brush hog, and then as I'm going through there, I'll spray a couple of these smaller food plots, and that way I'm only taking one trip in, one trip out. I'm not having to go back and forth a lot of times, and that combination works out very well. So we do have a couple fishing trips coming up here in the month of June. Probably do some cat fishing, may get out there and do a little bow fishing there at night. We'll kind of see how it goes weather wise, and then maybe get in some late season crappie fishing. So I think at that point in time, I think that kind of wraps up our June items. We're going to have a Father's Day coming up, so appreciate all your you fathers out there, the stepdads, the boyfriends, anybody that's getting out there and spending some time with those kids, uncles, grandfathers. I really want to thank you guys for doing that. Our generation, the upcoming generation, is so important to get them out there to the outdoors, whether it's fishing, camping, hunting, hiking, whatever. Just getting them out there just means the world, to the future of our, the great hobby of the great outdoors. So I did want to definitely thank, and bring up the Father's Day coming up. So we'll leave you guys at that. Like always, hopefully you guys are getting out there in nature. And best of luck on your guys' upcoming hunting and fishing season.